I started playing when I was 5 years old. The first gig that I went to attend, first concert I ever attended was Rod Stewart. So my dad took me to a Rod Stewart concert, and it was awesome. First gig, I was 11 years old, and my mom had some friends that were in a cover band, and they lost their drummer. And she said, "My boy can do it." And so, yeah, so my mom and I waited in the minivan of the bar in the parking lot at the bar, and we waited until it was our time to play, and then I got on stage and played this like three full set with a cover band thing at 11. It was crazy. First drum kit was called a Jugs Percussion, which is not cool. So yeah, my parents got me a fairly cheap Taiwanese drum set or Chinese made drum set. And then, so I had a Jugs Percussion, but the first real kit I ever had was I was working at a music store and I bought myself a Mapex Saturn Pro. Loved that kit, man. Just loved it. It was like, I mean, I saved and saved and saved, so it was really cool. Oh, it's a great question. Favorite show I've ever played? Ooh, my goodness. I would say for me, it's probably not shows, even though I did a ton of that. And I did a ton of touring. Those don't really stick out to me. It's probably more clinics. Those are my shows nowadays. So playing at PASIC, that's a big clinic back at home, and it's a tough one because the entire crowd is made up of drummers that are all percussion majors, and they're getting their degrees in drumming. So there's like 1,000 well-studied drummers staring at you, and it's a high-pressure situation. And I just felt that I played as good as I could have on that moment, at that moment, and that's all I ever wanted. So yeah, PASIC really stands out to me as like my favorite performance of all time. Easy, easy. We were opening for Primus, and we were backlined, so Primus's gear is kind of in front of us, or we're stuck in the back, and we're playing, and there's this huge. It was a theater, and there was this huge curtain behind us. And every time I hit the snare, I'm kind of doing this windmill thing. And somehow I hook the bottom of the curtain on the way around, and I pull the entire theater curtain over me and my drum set. And it blankets me like a Scooby-Doo net. And I fall into the drums, into the drum mics. And I go, "Oh, jeez. Oh, Lord, help me." And I'm just falling. And I finally get the thing off. And I'm like, "Ugh." And all of Primus is there. The Deftones are there. The crowd's laughing. And I was like, I just want to go home. It was horrible. It was terrible. But yeah, it was a pretty good gig. Favorite record I ever played on? I would say it would probably I haven't played on that many records, honestly, because I got my first record deal when I was like 21, and we did two major label albums, and I got to be honest, I didn't like recording. I knew right away. I put the headphones on and you get the click track going, and I just thought, yeah, I don't want to do this. We should call Josh Freeze. Like I was like, this is not for me. And then comparing that to the feeling I get when I teach a lesson or even speak to a camera, it's it's just not even close. So I only did two major label albums with my band Simon Says, and then I knew I'm done. I don't enjoy this, so I don't want to pursue something I don't enjoy. Oh man, it starts with Phil Collins. He was my guy. I still call him Uncle Phil, even though I've only met him once. I was lucky enough to be in the studio with him when he did the Tarzan soundtrack. I was just a fly on the wall kid, punk kid with piercings everywhere, and just sat back and watched him do his thing. So Phil Collins, Sting, definitely, and then from there, I mean, not to sound cheesy, but I had a big hand in choosing the guys that are here, and I chose my heroes. So it's kind of selfish to be able to hang out with these guys because they are the people that I would be standing in line at the NAMM show to get an autograph from. But Mark, Keith, and Ash are three of my biggest heroes in the world. So the best piece of advice I would say, especially pertaining to my musical career, was from my teacher, Pete Magadini, who was teaching me while I was touring. And he just said, you know what, man, you're a good drummer and all, but when you explain things to people, you just light up. Like you get so excited. He's like, you should really consider doing the teaching thing. And as a 24, 25-year-old kid that had a record deal, I was like, you're crazy. I have the dream right now. I'm on tour all the time. I have a major label album deal. And, but at the same time, it really spoke to me. And he almost gave me permission to chase my dreams, because my dreams of becoming a full-time educator just felt like, man, I shouldn't do that. I don't want to let my parents down. I don't want to let my friends down. I currently have the dream, but it wasn't my dream. So he gave me permission to chase my real dreams. And I just have been, literally since I was 25, I've been trying to do that for every student. Like, what is your passion? What do you want to do? Do that. Don't worry about what anyone else wants you to do. Follow your dreams. So yeah, that was a really cool thing. And he probably doesn't even know how much he impacted me at that moment, but it was big. Well, it stems off of that. I mean, it's not just chasing your dreams, because I think the hardest thing for most people is that they don't know what their dreams are. And so I think the advice that I would have for them is to narrow down your dreams, figure out what your dreams aren't. When I put headphones on in the studio and that click track started, I broke out in a sweat, and I knew I didn't want to be there. So I was able to push that away and say, okay, my dream isn't to be a session drummer. This isn't what I want to do. And I toured, and I knew, like, man, I'm not having as much fun as my bandmates are. Push that to the side. Then I worked in retail and I sold drums, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it's not filling my heart with passion. Push that to the side. And then when I taught, it meant everything to me. So what I would encourage everyone to do is try things out and find out what you don't like. And by doing that, that'll isolate what you love.